Below Chorrillos that has a little less than 6,000 meters above the sea. Van bajando de a poquito y pueden llegar, digamos, a cubrir. Bueno, cambió un poco el paisaje, ¿sí? Now we are inside the region of Potrerillos Lake. This is an artificial lake. Everything that is contained because of the wall that we saw recently.
Gracias. Okay. Eso, Pepe, muy
¿De la cabeza?
Qué cosa tan linda.
Sí, pero ya.
Good morning, everyone. So, last night I said that today we were going to have a very interesting day, and well, look at this. We are going into the Andes Mountains, and it's going to be a little excursion today. We're going to be going into I don't know exactly where we're going. It's like a little prearranged tour because we wanted to rent a car and just sort of drive ourselves. And then I forgot my driver's license, and so did Laura, and so did Jolima. So nobody brought their driver's license. So it was difficult to, rent a car without a driver's license. We did ask, because I have pictures of it, if we could rent a car without a physical driver's license, just a picture of it. But they said, obviously no. And so we were able to sort of like book a little tour last minute, and then we're here. We're going to go into different parts of the mountains, and we're going to go all the way to the border with Chile. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, like about 0 degrees Celsius. It's good. It's beautiful, and we'll see how we do today. I have found that usually on days like this, where we're sort of like out in nature and doing something physical like this, I don't have as much in the way of cravings, and so I think this is going to be a good day. Let's see how we do. Laura found a friend, and Jolima found another friend too. So we have this first stop, and this is, I guess, the biggest mountain town in the area. It's got about 10,000 people living here, and our guide Hugo was saying that every other little settlement has less than 100 people living. And then the last place we're visiting today has only 15 people living in it. So this was the place to get breakfast. Since we woke up a little earlier today, because we had an early pickup time, I was a little bit, everybody was a little hungry. And we got here, and of course it's like a bakery, but everything that they sell was like sweet. So that's why we decided to go for Jolima and I split a ham and cheese croissant, and then I had a little coffee, a little bit of sugar. So again, the options are somewhat limited. Perhaps I could have brought my nuts, and I didn't, and maybe that's something to keep in mind. Again, I thought about it when I started getting a little hungry when we were going in, and I didn't, and then I realized, oh shit, I still had some of the nuts that I brought that I ended up not eating because we had food at the lounge when we were flying over to Mendoza. And so maybe that's something to keep in mind for the future, but not bad.
Gray, white, and black are related with volcanic rocks, but not because there are volcanoes in.
All right, so this is one of the stops that we have along the way, and this is like a little canyon that is just gorgeous. And the guy was telling us that this is an old bridge that was made with the same materials that are found in this area. So look at that. Cool, right? Now, he was also saying that this is, water that comes directly from the glacier, and that is very clean, very pure mineral water that we can drink. So let's go and have a drink of water. Is it cold?
It's cold!
We're gonna dip the dread in the water. But now that it's wet,
Hi. Okay, I'm blessed too. We've all been blessed.
arrepiéntete, pecadora. Arrepiéntete, pecadora. Oh, that is good. That is pure, clean water, and I hope I don't get sick.
You better not, it's lethal.
No, it's not.
Importancia, hasta acá llegó el último tren de todos. El último tren que circuló por estos lugares hasta que no. De legalidad o control militar. Si pasamos eso y ya cambiamos azul. Todo eso es para no adelante. Igual como centro de esquí. Que me sigue echando. Ahora estamos por pasar al lado del cementerio de los alpinistas.
All right, so this is stop number 2. Starting to get a little bit colder, so I'm guessing it was probably a good idea that we ate some carbs. We're gonna need the energy. Probably our body's gonna try to warm up.
Más fresco nomás. Me gusta. Para encontrarlo no es única. En el hotel a la derecha y utilizando una cámara subterránea, la peor avalancha que recibimos y la única, irónicamente, sí. Todo esto, la iglesia inclusive más antigua que el hotel. Pasa que el hotel se ha destruido porque en realidad la avalancha no destruyó, solamente cubrió de nieve.
One of the things that I guess is a plus of being a bigger person is that we don't get cold as easily. Everyone is freezing, and I'm actually feeling pretty okay. I'm only wearing again my t-shirt and my little jean shirt, and I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think it's that cold. It's probably low 30s or mid 30s. Actually, it feels like mid 30s. So in that regard, it's one of the advantages of being a bigger person. These are the old rail tracks. Now we stopped at the foot of the what is supposed to be the tallest mountain in the American continent, including North, Central, and South America. I guess it's called Aconcagua, but it's really cloudy today. So it's supposed to be right here, but it's all covered in clouds right now. So I guess this is as good as it's gonna get. All right, so this is the town of Las Cuevas, the caves, and this is the last town in Argentina before we cross into Chile. So this is basically as close as we get to the Chilean border. We're not going to cross, but this is where we're going to have lunch. We're going to have lunch at this spot, at this restaurant. Now, the interesting thing is that he did say that it's a buffet style restaurant. ¿Sí? Hacia la nieve.
Yo todavía no.
¿No?
¿Qué tal?
Está bonito.
¡Ay!
Bien duro, bien duro.
Pero la nieve como en Norteamérica en general, pero por lo menos en Colorado.
All right, so it is now time to have lunch. I'm trying to shield the microphone from the air. It's kind of like an awkward position for my hand. Anyway, it's time for lunch. Let's see what they have. We're gonna do our best. I am feeling pretty hungry because, you know, my body is burning calories to try to keep me warm. We've had a nice little walk in the snow, and so now we need to eat. Make sure that we can get all those calories back. Very nice excursion, you know, lovely views. And now let's see if we have delicious food as well. Muchas gracias.
Bebida por mesa 3.
This is what I chose to go with, which is the meat stew, vegetables, and then rice and lentils. So we're getting, you know, some protein, some carbs, some veggies, and then we can get a little salad over here or more. Lunch was, you know, maybe not the tastiest. They had a lot of different stuff that was very carby, like the chicken parmesan thingy, mashed potatoes, pasta, stuff like that. Obviously, well, actually, I wasn't too cravey, and so I was able to make a better choice by sticking with the beef stew, the lentils and rice and vegetables, you know. So there was a little bit of carbs, but again, the idea is that we're controlling it now, and we're not sort of just giving in to the craving of, oh, I just want to fucking pig out on rice and mashed potatoes and chicken parmesan. So I'd say pretty good. You know, they do give you wine with lunch, and so there's a concession being made there. But again, I think I burn a lot of calories just by being out in the cold. So we'll see. We'll see what the end of the day says. But so far, so good. I'm not feeling too cravey. Every once in a while, there are thoughts of like, oh, I just want to have like a big dinner tonight. because it feels like when I first, since I wasn't the one controlling the portions, but it was one of the guys who served us, I was thinking like, maybe I want a little more. And again, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. But then I ate the portion that I had on the plate, and by the time I was done, I actually felt pretty good about it. I'm not overly full, but I am fine. Of course, there's a part of me that wants to keep eating, wanted to have more of everything. But, this is what we're learning to do. Now, we'll see. I know that Laurita wanted a coffee. Still want a coffee?
Sure.
Should we go get a coffee?
Let's go get a coffee.
We could do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. Hola.
Hola, buenas noches. ¿Rincones o acá?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear at this point that when you're tired, cravings come up quite a bit more. And we really don't realize to what extent. So as we were driving back, feeling a little tired from the day and all that, and I kept having one word just sort of repeating in my mind: pizza. And yeah, I guess this is why it's important to not, I guess, like, if we had sort of let go and thought like, well, like, we're going to Mendoza this weekend, and then when we get back, we'll get back into it. Like, that would have given us license to do all that stuff. But the fact that we stayed committed really made all the difference. And I still don't know what's the difference between now and like all these past weeks that we've been struggling with this. And I know that some people were writing in the comments about like, well, like, it's only a battle with yourself and blah, 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 and all that. And I don't know. I mean, I know they mean well, but I don't know if these are people who perhaps are seeing a few videos and not really understanding the whole picture. I mean, why would they? But the whole point is to show what the process is like for someone like me. Well, of course, it's, a battle with myself. And yes, I don't think that anyone on the internet is going to actually hold me accountable. But at the end of the day, some of these things might create an environment where I feel that sense of accountability is bigger than me, and therefore might be a tool that I can use and will help me try to stay on track. Doesn't always work, but I know that the fact that we've been doing these daily videos, and somehow I was staying fully committed to that, meant that I wasn't fully dropping the ball on the other stuff. So same thing, like, now that it was basically our last full day, I felt that there was more of a sense of commitment. Maybe not more, but the same sense of commitment that I've had from the beginning. And I think that as we are doing this more and more times, there's a bigger sense of commitment there. We're sort of like starting to create this, like, I don't know, a streak, I guess. And so now that we have a bigger streak and that we are staying committed with a very specific why, all this stuff that we've been talking about for the last few days makes it so that making some of those choices are a little bit better. So we ended up going to an Asian restaurant that had some, better options than just pizza. We got some sushi, we got some ramen. And again, I had like 4 pieces of sushi. That was fine. It's a little carby, of course. It's got the rice and stuff. And then I had some ramen, but we ended up sharing, like, we split, basically, like, technically we split a roll with Yolima and some ramen. And, so, like, I had only like half a bowl of ramen. And this is a way where it doesn't feel as restrictive, I guess, in that way. But uh, it wasn't exactly what I was craving, but we were still able to go out to dinner, which is, I guess, what we wanted to do instead of having to figure out, like, oh, how can we, eat something out, like maybe make something at home. And didn't particularly want to have nuts for dinner, being here. And so this was a good compromise. And I still ended up being low for calories for the day. I think it was only like less than 2,000, and we're aiming for 2,500. We didn't meet our protein or fat goals for the day, but we stayed under our carbs, so I guess that's good. So all in all, I would say a successful day. I think the demon is starting to learn a lesson there, and so it hasn't been coming out as much, hasn't been rearing its head as much. But that is basically it. We had another successful day. Now, sadly, tomorrow we are going back to Buenos Aires. I don't know if I want to say sadly. I'm happy to be going back to Buenos Aires. Kind of getting back into it a little bit. But yeah, so tomorrow is going to be another travel day. Luckily, we have our nuts to make sure that we are, we have some emergency kit in case that we need to eat something, or maybe, I don't know if we have access to a lounge at the airport here in Mendoza, but we got one final thing that we're doing here in Mendoza before we go back to Buenos Aires. So that is it for right now. I'll see you tomorrow.